Hello and welcome back to another Escape from Tarkov video. Now, I did take a little bit of a break. I'll explain why towards the end of the video. It's just a myriad of reasons really, nothing serious, but without further ado, let's get into the video. So today we're going to be showcasing the new customs expansion, which for most of you will be old news, but it's one of the videos I didn't get around to making, and it's pretty good, and I want to make people aware of it because just in literally like 10 minutes from spawn to extract, just running and looting what was there, I came out with quite a bit of money. And if you could do this with very little risk, you probably could make quite a bit of money in Escape from Tarkov doing this. One of the first points of interest is on the right here. Well, it's not really this area, I was just checking this area because I wasn't really well versed with it and I wanted to make sure that I was getting all the money's worth. But it's in this building and it's on the second story. You'll see the area in a minute. There's a lot of loose spawns around here, nothing major, but it's always worth checking because you never know where things are going to spawn. You know, jackets are always still worth money. You get the right key in a jacket, it can be worth a couple of 100,000 rubles easy. But you want to go up to the second story of this building here, and in that building you'll see sort of like a library room with a computer desk and a bunch of bookcases, and on those bookcases you can find 3 intelligence spawns. Now, it's not as much money as it was because it's later on in the wipe, and the intelligence spawns, they're not worth as much because there's more of them in the game, and because generally people aren't needing it for hard hideout upgrades. So it's just something to keep an eye out, but if you do get them, it is still worth between 450 to 600,000 rubles if you get 3 intelligence spawns, which it can spawn that many. Now, I'm not sure if this is a LEDX spawn in this building because there is a lab area which spawns a ton of medical supplies. I would have thought one could have spawned there. It would have been good if it could, because I find that LEDX is very restricted to what maps it can spawn on, and it's a really crucial part of building up the hideout. Yeah, I just went down here. I didn't really check much of that upstairs because there wasn't much spawns, but there is some good money spawns, not money, ammo spawns, because ammo is quite good money, especially in that mid game when no one has access to the high level ammo through vendors, so they just buy it off the flea market. But yeah, on the tables and on the red tractor there. Is it a tractor? It's some sort of heavy goods vehicle. I was seeing if these doors were opening as well. Now, these crates are always worth opening. They come in 3 different varieties. I think it's technology, rations, and medical. And they're always really worth looting because they're giant crates and they're great search and XP. But 2, they tend to spawn quite good items as well. And for one container, it's probably at least 50 to 100,000 rubles per container. Now, this area in the middle here with the what's called the LMG mounted on top, and I think Rashala can sometimes spawn here as well. It spawns tons of BT ammo. There's military crates there. Military crates are great, but I haven't really seen an increase in them. It was a while ago they said that they increased the amount of stuff that spawns inside them, and I never found that to be quite true, to be honest. But maybe I'm just getting unlucky. It is entirely possible. Now, this is probably a high trafficked area. I haven't had much experience with this in online games. I just jumped into an offline to see what it's like and whatnot. But as you can see, by this point I've picked up enough to be considered overweight for this run through. I'm probably leaving so much money behind as well, just in found and raid status items. Mainly what I was looking for was the BTs, because the BTs mid-wipe are fantastic money when people can't purchase that ammo from the vendor. You can sell that ammo type for 500, 700 rubles a pop. Right now it's going for like 300, 400. It's not great, but you can get so many in the 120 rounders, the 120 round boxes, that it's really good money still. I wouldn't consider it, you know what I mean, it's not LEDX farming money, but the chances are if you're trying to farm LEDXs you need a lot of keys to go into the rooms on Shoreline, And to get those keys, you either have to farm the keys or buy the keys. And if you use this method to farm the money to buy the keys, that makes it easier, you know what I mean? Like, this is a method of money making that doesn't require any keys, doesn't require any quests done. All it requires is you to have the, you know, be level 10 with the flea market, and you can just run this as soon as you level 10, basically. You can do it beforehand, because a lot of this stuff has vendor value as well. It won't be as much money, but you'll still be getting a reasonable amount of money for relative to your level if you know, under level 10. Overall though, I think it's a really good expansion. I have seen a lot of people getting red key cards in, it's an area later on, but it's underneath like the platforms, and there's sometimes spawns bag you can check, so just keep an eye out for that. I think I find the bag, but not what it spawns. It's just on the right here, underneath the platforms where the trains are on. So just keep an eye out for that. I think I go under there. Maybe not. I thought I did, but it was just back there on the right. I do like this expansion though. I think it's really going to improve. Did a little bit of a jump there. Yeah, so it skipped there a little bit, but it's pretty much all it's skipping out is that top area where, you know, the cut through is. Not a massive amount of loot there. It's still worth going up there because I think there's a weapons crate, but, you know, just in case you're wondering what that area looked like. What I'm really looking forward to in regards to this expansion though is next wipe, when people are running customs again, low geared, you know, trying to get those first few quests knocked out. I think that's going to be fantastic. I think personally we're at the stage with Tarkov at the moment where wipes are becoming less and less, what's the word? There's less longevity to them. You know, by the time you're a week or two in now, people are at endgame. You know, you're already fighting people in Gen 4s, and it's getting to the point where you almost have to play the first 2 weeks of a wipe to experience a true end game sort, like, you know what I mean, like a true mid-game, early game Tarkov experience. And this is the total loot I came out with for that entire thing, and it's quite a bit of money. Now, chances are you might not get this much loot in an online game because A, there's going to be other people competing with you for that loot, but you know, it's sometimes you will get out with this much, sometimes you won't. It's an RNG number. This is probably the peak of what you could get. Now, any money making method in Tarkov is going to require you to fight against other players to get that money. So just take every, you know, every every sort of number I gave you, every money making method, take it with a pinch of salt, because different play styles will lend themselves to different ways of making money better. So if you are better at the game than me, you might make more money than what you see here on screen. You might make less, but this is what, you know what I mean, this is physically stuff that you can pick up on this route. So if you're looking for a specific item, say at the start of the next wipe, and you need the salines for the med station, this is a decent place to find them. But when you add it all up, it does come to around about 740,000 rubles. Now this was the prices as of about 2 weeks ago, because I was in the middle of making this video when I took the small break. But that's what it was when I made this video. It might be a bit less now because prices tend to drop towards the end of a wipe, and I do think we're towards the end of the wipe. Now, for the reasons why I took a break, mainly it's to do with Tarkov. I love Tarkov, but when it gets towards the end of the wipe and you've got a lot of money and the content gets very stale, because you have this massive influx of players towards the beginning of the wipe, and the problems where cheating is concerned becomes less. Because if you've got, say we've got 100,000 players active on Tarkov at the beginning of a wipe, it's probably more than that, but let's say we've got that, and 10,000 of those people are cheating, you get, you know, a 1 in 10 chance of finding a cheater. Not realistic, but arguably simplified, that's what it is. Now if you get towards the end of the wipe and 50 to 60,000 legitimate players stop playing because they're getting bored with it and the wife's getting stale, then you end up with a 25% chance, nearly 30,000 to 40,000 legit players to 10,000 cheaters. And the cheaters aren't going to stop playing because that's how they make a living, that's why they make their money. So it just becomes a kind of different experience where the gunfights are generally less fun, and generally in your raids, when you start getting into fights with people, it becomes more difficult to tell whether or not it was a straight up fight or not. There's other reasons too for the reason I took a break. It becomes difficult to make videos for a game you're not actively playing, and it's one of the reasons I'm getting back into it now, because I took a small break, I recharged myself, I'm raring to go get on with quests and whatnot. But it's just a case of it's good to take a couple of breaks from Tarkov every now and then. Hopefully next time I'll have a bunch of videos saved up so that when I do take a break the content doesn't dry up. But that's it from me, and I hope this video helps you make a little bit of money, helps you explore the area and the customs expansion. You're probably more experienced with the customs expansion at the moment than I am. But I hope you're having a good day, and I'll see you next time.